What you're looking at here is my computer desk. It's made from an old piano, some Bose speakers from the junkyard, an old amp I had, and I wanted to add additional monitors. The way I was running it was just that curved monitor and my laptop. Well, I decided to add two more monitors and then have the laptop underneath. The only problem was the one arm on the left would not hold the monitor up. So I had to notch it out so then the little thing for the arm sat on the side of the piano. Yeah, that kind of worked. But wait, I've got a better idea. I got this old Philco radio when I was out in South Dakota, and I know, I'll cut them sides off and use that for the sides and see what other parts I can use from it. Once I removed all the flatheads, and I hate flatheads, the desk came apart relatively easy. Made some cuts on it, and well, let's try assembling it. What I had to do is a notch out for like the front legs of the piano, and this is very thin material, but luckily it's had that wood strip glued to the back of it, so I used that to screw to the front of the piano. Next, I added a board in there so I could attach drawer slides for the keyboard tray. That's what I'm doing here, putting some additional screws in it. As you can see, I took that computer, or the monitor arm, the dual monitor stand apart and just had the arms going through the top of the desk there. Now I'm notching out for the drawer for the keyboard. I wanted it as wide as I could so I could have two keyboards, one for each computer, and then ideally a mouse spot. I ended up just using the top of the desk for that. I had to notch out the back of the tray in order for the computer to have enough room for it. Got my power supply, everything mounted in there, plugged in the wall wart for the amp, aka the 12-volt transformer, so I could run the car audio amplifier in there. Works just fine, it's just a tiny little amp. Right now I'm putting the boards up because that's where I'm going to have the laptop sitting on top of that, so it's off the desk. You have a certain cat that loves to lay on keyboards. I'm not going to name any names, but Whitey. Then I had the idea of using what once covered the keys on the keyboard, piano keyboard, as doors for the front of the desk. And these used to sit on top of it, and the keyboard was right there. But I had to remove these when I added these pieces here on. And now what I'm doing is I want to use the old keyboard cover on the sides here to hide like whatever I put in there. Like that side will be for the battery backup and all that. So put this half-inch dado in there, about the top and the bottom. And I already had this piece. The profile is, so I had these left over from a job. Just had to rip off a little bit of it, and then rip some off of it, so it would sit flush in the bottom. And that's what's already down there. So these sit in that groove. Get that other. So you sit there. I cut one of the supports that I used to hold the laptop, and cut that, rabbited out the back of this, put a screw in there so that holds this one sturdy. Then take this and you put it in that groove. Slide up next to that one. Take this one. Drop it down in there, and there you go. Did the same for this side. Got the groove on the top and the bottom. Voila, there we are. But I don't want this gap to be quite that big on this side. This side pretty much is where it has to be, and I'll make a little piece that goes over the front of it. But this side doesn't need to be that big, so it's taken. Push that over, make sure it's locked down again. All is good. Oh, I want a little bit bigger than that. Yeah, right about there. So that's all nice and tight. And so I got my computer back there that I use for editing. And I need to be able to get at the different USB ports on it, so I don't want to put that any other way than I have it. This way I can still access it. Still access my laptop where it's got the compact flash built in, so I can just put the card in there. But this is going to be for like little light setups or little tripods or different stuff that I use for shooting. The other side, I don't know, other than the power supply, maybe a little shelf in there for the external hard drives or something, who knows. I entertain putting the NOS in here, but this thing gets unplugged way too frequently to hook the NOS up to it.